Guys, do you have anything to say first, Ray, or just take?
Nope, just to confirm that we were not active today, so nobody going and nobody coming. So our roster is our roster moving forward. Anybody want to start with the first question?
Raise your hand now.
Ray, you said yesterday you didn't really anticipate anything happening today. Did you ever come close to making a deal today, or was it as quiet as it appeared from the outside?
It was pretty quiet, but even though you don't make a deal, we had a number of conversations with some teams, but whether it wasn't the price, in our opinion, was too high on some players, or there just wasn't a fit on our end. I mean, we did make some offers on some players, but those players never got moved. So, it was a long day to really come up with nothing. But as I said, going into it, we were fine with that, and we're going to get a few injured players back here. Hopefully, Aaron Asham soon and Tyler Kennedy, and we're going to go forward with our team.
Right, a lot of people, especially fans and whatnot, were kind of looking at the trade deadline to see if you guys did make a move, especially if you were to get a wing. Maybe you were doing so because Sid was coming back, or maybe conversely, you weren't doing it because you were going to make a move because you were afraid Sidney couldn't come back. You need the offense. Is there anything to glean from your guys' activity or lack thereof about where you might be with Sid now?
No, nothing. As I said yesterday, I'm hopeful he'll be able to come back and play. There's no guarantee of that. It just wasn't. It was one of those trade deadlines. I mean, I think this is my 6th trade deadline here, and we've always been active doing something. This is the first time we've not done anything, and it just really wasn't there for us in terms of the players that were available. And you really seen it. I think that the standings are so close, and some teams went all the way through yesterday's games to make some decisions on players, whether to trade or to keep them. And as usual, you were kind of getting, if I get blown away by an offer, I might consider moving my player. Well, a lot of these players didn't move because teams wouldn't pay that price, and in our case, only speaking from the Penguins standpoint, is that we're happy with our team going forward. And I said that, and what I said yesterday too is that it's easy to say that as a manager, and when you can't make a deal or don't make a deal, whatever it is you can say that. But I said this 6 weeks ago when we had lost 6 in a row, that I like our team, and I believe in our hockey team, and I still do, and I'm comfortable with this team moving forward. So that's where we are.
Ray, you said on July 1st that was one of the leanest free agent markets you've ever seen. Was today, seeing very, very little movement overall? Was that maybe an extension of that today?
There's less and less trades at the deadline, it seems, and a lot of teams had cap space, it seemed, this year. The cap had gone up, and it's just the parity in the league, I think, where a lot of teams are not trading players. And, it's maybe a combination of the new CBA moving forward. If a guy has term on their contract, they're not willing to take that on. So I think it's a combination of everything, but most importantly, I think it's the parity. And with the exception of a few teams are within 4 to 5 points of a playoff spot, and there's still 20 games to be played. So it's still a lot of hockey to be played, and teams are still optimistic they make the playoffs. So I think it's a combination of everything. And but as I said, back on July 1st, when you make a few deals and let some players go, it's kind of how you set your team up for the season. And I'm hopefully get a few of these injured players back. And right now we're in a home ice position. We're fighting for home ice, and I'm happy with that right now.
Ray, can you expand a little bit about why you're so confident in your team? Are there 2-3 characteristics of the group that you think imply it'll have success in the postseason?
Well, I think we have, from the net out, we've got very good goaltending. We have a lot of guys here that won a Stanley Cup, and we've had the most man games lost in the league to injury, and now we're finally starting to get healthy, it seems. So I think it's a combination of everything. I think we have some really good play out of some players, and after you miss Jordan Stahl for 20 games, you get him back in your lineup to see the big difference it makes in your team. And I just think that we have a pretty good hockey team here, and with our leadership and the character we have in our hockey team, our special teams have been very good, and our penalty killing has been amongst the tops in the league. Our power play has been very good, obviously. So just a lot of things have come together for us, and we'll get some of these injured players back, and we have a number of those guys that have rings in the room, and that counts for something as we move forward toward the playoffs.
You mentioned the power play. It's had a lot more success this season. Is it just a matter of personnel having Gino healthy, having James Neal a little bit more acclimated with the team, Steve Sullivan in the lineup? Or is there something else at foot there that has led to that success this season?
Well, we got James Neal with, I think, the most power play goals in the league, and the year that Evgeny Malkin's having, he's taken it to another level. Chris Kunitz has done a fantastic job as a net front guy, and I think Steve Sullivan has made a big difference to that power play in terms of transition of that puck and up the ice, gaining his own time. But he's really smart up top, and of course, having Chris Letang back after the number of games he missed has really helped us. And the coaches have worked hard at this over the last year or so, again, to come up with some different variations in this power play. And with Sullivan on that one side, kind of open up the left-hand side of the power play. I think it's been helpful, and we're shooting the puck, get it through, and Neal and Malkin have made a big difference, and you got Jordan Stahl, obviously at 20 goals or whatever he's at. These guys are making a difference.
Right, it's two-parter here. Did Thiessen's performance do enough to stabilize any questions you may have had goaltending depth-wise behind Mark? That would be number one. And number two, as far as your three center model, would that stay in place if Sid does come back? Do you think you spread your wings out enough between the three centermen?
On the goaltending issue, I think that with Brad, when we signed him as a free agent in Northeastern, we were hopeful he'd become a professional goalie here. And last year being the goalie of the year in the American Hockey League, these guys at times need an opportunity. And the way Brent has played for us in the past, he never really got that. And fortunately, we didn't have any injuries, knock on wood, in that position. And but for the goaltenders that were out there in terms of the price to get them, and I'm not sure if any even moved today, but obviously we're very happy with our number one guy in Fleury, and Brent Johnson, if he can get healthy here, which we think he will, to give us that experience. And of course, Brad gets some experience as in the National Hockey League. That bodes well for us moving forward. So I think we're confident in that area. And the second part of the question was the three center. Yeah, that'll be up to Dan. I think the way, if we get the three centers back together, the way that Dan has done this in the past is that guys tend to move around a bit. You see Gino playing center, you see Gino the odd time playing wing, you see Stahl moving up to the wing, depending on the matchup situation. And the beautiful thing is that they can all play well over 20 minutes a night. So you put them in different situations, and depending on the game, how they go, score of the game. So it just gives us a lot of options and flexibility, and creates much more problems for the team matching up.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you, guys.